What's up, YouTube? I'm Dr. Will, your manhood grandfather and senior relationship advisor. And I want to thank everyone that subscribed to this channel. I really appreciate you. But YouTube is telling me that 75% of you that view my channel regularly have not subscribed. So please help me continue to produce this content by hitting the subscribe button right now. It won't cost you anything, okay? And I know that it's annoying to get those notifications, so you don't have to hit the notification bell if you don't want to, but I need you to subscribe. Now, I also need you to tell me what you think about the content by making comments or hitting either the like or dislike button. And see, the more you tell me about what you like or don't like, the better the content will be. All right? Amen. Today's video is a reaction to a comment posted on my video titled, How to Find a Good Wife. And you can see that video by clicking on the thumbnail for it at the end of this video. See, the guy who left the comment asked this question: why do we have to take all of these steps to be a husband? Nowhere in the scriptures did God make this complicated. And why does it have to be so deep? Men in the Bible married because they had sexual needs. Then he said also, a virtuous wife is not a virgin, not a born-again virgin with 40 plus bodies. These modern women are empowered. So good luck, fellows, and may the force be with you. Now listen, I'm not trying to clown this guy, okay? And I appreciate that he took the time to make the comment. However, this comment displayed a lack of knowledge on so many levels. And first of all, he apparently doesn't know that my PhD is in biblical studies, so I know the Bible inside and out, backward and forward. And also, the young man appears to have no clue as to what virtuous is. See, virtue describes a woman that has strength, power, and moral excellence. It has nothing to do with virginity. And that would mean that once a woman has sex, she could no longer be virtuous. So this tells you that the brother knows very little about women. So he is exactly the type of guy that needs to receive training on how to be a husband. So why do men need to receive training on how to be a husband? Let's talk about it.
I can see him.
Guys, women mature faster than men, and that is a natural fact. So if you don't know how to overcome that deficit, you will end up with heel prints on your back, okay? When it comes to being a man or husband, a woman will see that you don't know what to do, so she'll walk all over you. And that said, there are two main reasons why modern men have to learn how to be a husband to a modern woman in 2021. And number one, the women that you guys have to choose from or to marry today are not the women from the Bible era. And two, the knowledge men received in times past on how to lead a woman, raise a family, and become wealthy was passed down from generation to generations of men. Men not only taught their sons how to be men and husbands, but the boys actually got to see an example of what a man should be, know, and do modeled before them. And then the fathers of the community put the boys through a test to determine their readiness to be a man, husband, and father, and provider in a ritual called the rite of passage. Now, if the boys were able to endure the hardships of the test and come out walking like a man, talking like a man, and looking for a woman, then the men would know that the boy was good enough to marry one of their daughters. You modern cats are the product of 50 plus years or almost 3 generations of men who grew up without a father in the home. And iron sharpens iron, and men sharpens men, and men turns boys into men by putting them through the fire and shaping them with a hammer. And this is how a young man becomes tough and hardened enough to endure the pressure that comes with being a family leader. And for some reason, you modern guys think that you don't need anybody to teach you how to be a leader, how to be a husband, father, and provider. See, knowledge is power, but you guys let your pride and ego keep you from getting the knowledge, so you have no power. And the woman that you want you can see that you have no power, so they punk you, play you, ghost you, or curve you. Then rather than doing what is necessary to acquire power, you cats turn red pill and start complaining that women ain't shit. See, an old African proverb says that if you enter a village and you cannot find any good women, it's filled with no good men. Too many of you guys think that you will just get the knowledge somewhere or somehow after you get married. But here's a Muppet news flash. You are not going to get the knowledge that you need to lead women to see you as powerful through osmosis. A real man will have to teach you, and you can't learn to be a real man from other red pill guys close to your own age on YouTube. Now, you can get married without getting the knowledge to lead a woman and family. That is, if you want to. However, the woman you marry is not only going to clean your clock, but she'll clean your finances too. You see, the reason most of you guys that can get a woman are afraid to get married is not because marriage is as an institution is broken. It's because you know that you don't know how to lead a family and to get a woman to submit to you voluntarily. See, ignorance breeds fear, and that's why you're afraid. And with all due respect, the cat that posted the YouTube comment sounded like a cross between a ranting child and an emotional woman. See, it's impossible to think like that and be a fully mature adult emotionally. See, 1 Corinthians 13 says that once you become a man, you have to put away childish thinking, such as nobody can teach me how to be a man, nobody can teach me how to be a husband. See, a lot of guys don't try to get the knowledge they need because they don't want nobody to know that they don't know. And see, once a boy reaches adult age, you cannot force him to get the knowledge he needs. He has become addicted to ignorance. So like a crackhead, you will have to wait until enough life or enough women has kicked his behind for him to realize that he has to volunteer to come in for the cure. Now, again, choosing to willfully remain ignorant is not much different than being a drug addict. See, the only difference is the drug of choice. Rather than a narcotic, the red pill adult adolescent male is addicted to the chemical cocktail of ignorance combined with his friends or peer group's opinion. You see, the addict or the ignorant must go to rehab to have someone give them the knowledge they need to break their addiction. And brothers, if you don't want to come in for the cure for ignorance, that's fine. But just know that the longer you wait and the older you get, the worse it's going to be. Now, you have alimony and child support in your future, and that's because no one ever taught you that the price of knowledge is always cheaper than the cost of ignorance. You can pay for the knowledge now, or you will pay later. And brothers, here's some more Muppet news that nobody told you that keeps you from remaining married after you get married. And see, there's a difference between dating and courting. Courting is a time where you are examined by the woman that you want to marry and her family. And the reason it's called courting is because you are being judged on whether or not you qualify to be her husband. Now, you may qualify to be a husband, but not qualify to be her husband. Once her family is satisfied that you qualify to be her husband, then you get engaged and you set a wedding date. And dating, ladies and gentlemen, is the preparation process that you go through to get ready for your wedding date. Dating is not going out together to dinner and movies and clubs and parties or finding time to do the horizontal mambo. Dating is a verb that describes the actions that you must take to prepare for the day of your wedding and for what your marriage will be after you move in together. And guys, if you think that you can just figure this out without someone telling you what to do, you are fooling yourselves, okay? You can do it, but it's going to end badly. And too many guys make take the job of husband without knowing how to do the job. And this is why 80% of divorces are filed by women. See, they realize that they have to fire the guy that they hired to be their husband because he doesn't know how to do the job. And by contrast, what happens when a mother learns that her daughter is engaged, she jumps right in and starts helping her plan the wedding, teaching her what to expect if she never had sex and how to plan to be married after she gets married. Now, what happens with men that grew up without a father in the home when they get engaged, all right? They are either left out there alone to try to figure everything out on their own, or they get some little tips and drips and drabs from their married friends. Now, most women go into a marriage knowing what they want to do and what they expect of you. And nearly 80% of black men go into marriage without having the first freaking clue on how to become married after they get married. See, the only thing they do know is that they want their wife to deliver sex on demand and to always have a broom or mop and a sandwich in their hands. See, guys, after you get married, your primary duty is to teach that woman how to be your wife. If you don't, she will just be a married woman, not a wife, and she certainly won't be your wife, okay? She will eventually get tired of living with you and will find a way to get you out of her life. And men have to understand that marriage is a business. You have no business going into business if you have not been taught how to run a business. See, God designed the family to be the primary organization for wealth generation. Therefore, a marriage is like a Fortune 500 company. The family leader, the head, or the husband is the CEO or chief executive officer, and the wife is the COO or the chief operations officer, okay? The man leads the family through the vision, objectives, and goals that he set for the family, And the wife runs the family and the household, and see, her job is to ensure that she does everything she can to help her husband realize his vision and achieve his objectives and goals. Now, if a husband or CEO discovers that his wife does not make a good COO, he will have to fire, aka divorce her. However, you brothers better understand that the courts will ensure that she receives a tidy severance package or golden parachute when she leaves so that she can land comfortably. On the other hand, if your wife or CEO discovers that her husband is a poor leader or CEO, she has the authority to fire him and select another leader. And contrary to what guys like Big Willie, I Am the Man, Anton Daniels understands, the position of husband or CEO is appointed by a woman. See, his wife can file divorce at any time, and there's nothing he can do about it. And if you let a woman feel that you can't do your job, she will become disappointed and then dish you from your appointment. And the only problem is that she gets to leave with half of what you own and will be able to use it to hire herself another husband or CEO. And this is why Kenya wants $45,000 a month from Gary Owen. See, she is airing his dirty laundry on social media using sign language to punk him into paying for her next CEO. And this is why it is critical for a man to train, learn, and understand how to be a husband before he gets married. And again, the price of knowledge is always lower than the cost of ignorance. If you want to get married without knowing how to become married or how to transform the woman that you married into your wife, you are going to get your clock clean emotionally and drained financially. Now, I don't want to see this happen to you, so this is why I created the Maximizing Fatherhood Masterclass, okay? And it will not only teach you how to become a better man, husband, father, and provider, it will also teach you how to lead a woman to become your wife and teach her how to help you build wealth. See, if you have a wife that is healthy, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, she can help you increase your finances exponentially. Now, if she's not healthy, you must know how to lead her back to health so that she can become the wife that you need her to be. Brothers, this is where a woman's natural instinct to be hypergamous, okay, can work in your favor. When you have greater wealth than a woman, it makes her realize that you and she are not equal. And when a woman believes that she is on your level or equal, you are going to have trouble leading her without getting resistance, okay? If she constantly resists your attempts to lead her, she will never make the changes necessary to become your wife. And again, a marriage is a business, so the COO must recognize the power dynamic between her and the CEO and what could happen if she doesn't do her job. On the other hand, the CEO must understand that if he is not listening, he's not leading. Okay, a man learns to be his wife's husband by listening to her and making the changes necessary to become her husband. Okay, and a good leader listens to those who follow him to learn how to effectively lead them and make them open to transforming into the type of people that he needs them to become. A husband must be able to maintain that power dynamic in case he discovers later that his wife has some mental, emotional, and spiritual issues that she has been hiding from him, okay? And I'm telling you this because I had a case where a woman over 40 who had been hiding from her husband of 17 years that she had been, okay, and by a stranger when she was 12 years old. And once he learned that she was still dealing with the trauma of that experience, he could then understand why he got so much resistance from her in certain areas. And in order to help them recover that from her trauma as a couple, I had to teach him what to do to help her heal. Then he could have a wife that was not only whole, but free to walk in her God-given power to help him lead their family. And all that knowledge that I share with him is written in this book, okay? Healing the Wounded Woman. And so I wrote it so that other men could have access to that knowledge as well. Now, brothers, I want to show you an example of the type of emotional connection that you must make with your woman in order to relieve the residual effects of past traumas and lead her to become your wife. And see, the goal is to get her to come to herself and be the person who God created her to be, rather than the person she created herself to be, which is often a false public image in an effort to hide her pain.
So then why'd you do it?
Caught up in the moment, going from 0 to 10. I always say, I don't have a medium.
A boundary.
When that trigger goes off, it's here. I don't have that, ever.
Is it that you don't have it or that you haven't been taught how to use it?
That's how every woman in my family dealt with conflict.
Now, the problem in the example that I'm going to show you is there's a woman that has taken a position that this woman's husband should be in. He needed to be the one holding her intimately to make her feel safe and secure in order to get her to drop her defense barriers that she was put up in front of everybody, including him.
So when I think about this, your marriage, Evelyn, you in trouble, girl.
But I have no doubt that her husband does not have the first clue about what to do to help his wife release the pain and heal from her past traumas. Otherwise, he would have done it, and they would not be experiencing the trouble that they are going through. Now, guys, this couple got married, and the brother hasn't led this woman to become his wife.
No, I'm flying everywhere and just trying to balance life.
Why are you doing all that?
I like to work. I like having my own independence. I like having my own money. It just makes me feel comfortable.
The evidence of this fact is that her desire to maintain her independence and make her own money, which comes out of the fear of being dumped. However, it's also an indication that she believes that they are equal and that her money puts her on his level. Now, I'm concerned that because what Iyanla is doing will not help Evelyn improve her relationship with her husband, she's doing exactly what Evelyn's man should be doing to create a house bond and become her husband.
Because I'm going to hold on to you. Because I'm not really sure anybody's really held on to you at the hard moments. Would that be accurate? I mean, the real hard moments. Yeah. See, I see that part of you. Just close your eyes for me. Know I'm going to hold you. I'm not going to let you go. I'm not going to compromise your dignity. And whatever you say to me, I promise you, I'm not going to use it against you. I'm not going to use it against you. What scares me the most is
Not being loved.
go deeper and repeat this for me. What scares me the most is
What scares me the most
Is?
is being by myself.
Okay, take a breath. And when you think about this money and fame and fortune and the shoes and the chaos and what scares me the most is
What scares me the most is not having anything.
yes. Because you've been there
I've been there.
and that hurts. And that's scary. Yeah. Here's an awareness I want you to have, beloved. You call it anger. But I say that most of what you've done has been out of fear. Yeah. Stay in there with her, that little 7-year-old. Yeah. Say this for her and with her. I'm scared.
I'm scared.
Yeah. I am so scared.
I'm so scared.
Yeah. Let her say it. I'm just so scared.
I'm just so scared.
Yeah. Yeah. Let it come up. I got you. I got you. Let it come up. I got you. I got you. You don't have to swallow it this time. Come here. Put your face over here so everybody don't see it. Turn this way. Turn this way. Yeah. And just let her weep. Just let her weep. Because she's scared to death, Evelyn. She don't know how she got here. She don't know how to stay here. And she doesn't know how long she's going to be here. And that's pretty darn frightening. Would you think? Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I know exactly where you are. Been there. Been there. And the only one in the family to make it this far, you don't even have a model of what to do with this life, do you?
No.
Now, I can say with confidence that the example also proves that when a woman steps in and tries to do what a man was assigned by God to do, it never works. And the proof is 4 days after this show aired, Evelyn's divorce from her husband was finalized. Then 2 days after that, he pled guilty to a no contest in court to a charge that she made of domestic assault, where he received a sentence of 1 year probation. And I'm beginning to be concerned that the multitude of women claiming abuse now is going to prevent men or women who are actually being abused from receiving the help that they need. Okay, so too many women are claiming to be abused as a means to make the man look bad and absolve them of any responsibility for their marriage failing.
You did the best you could based on who you were, not who you are, and the information you had at the time.
But brothers, if you don't get the training you need to become a husband, you could find yourself in the same situation, divorced and on probation. All right, amen. Well, that's all that I have for now. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, share this video with your family and friends, and I'll be back with something new that nobody told you. Until then, remember that God loves you, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I'll see you next time on Maximizing Fatherhood.